Good morning, guys. Good morning. Today, I got the pleasure of being able to sit down with one of the mayor candidates for Athens Clark County, man. Mr. Dexter Fisher. Mr. Dexter.
Good morning, Charles. Thank you for having me on today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I noticed. First, let me say thank you for sitting down with me and stuff, man. And I noticed that throughout the social media and even the talking to the community, man, you got a heavy presence out there. You got a real heavy presence out there. You got a lot of people that's supporting you, and that's good. I mean, cause you are a people person.
Yeah.
You know, I love that about you. You are a people person. You're always open book, man. Anybody that need to reach out to you, they are able to reach out to you and talk to you about the issue that our community faces. And I think that's what we look for in a mayor, in leadership.
Yeah, and I think it's important that everybody understand that I will be the mayor for everybody. You know, it's important that our community that feel that they're not getting anything from our government or local government. I want them to feel that they will have a seat at the table on the Dexter Fisher administration. It's important to me that we hear the needs of our community and that we address those needs. And I think over the years, some of those things have not happened. I'm going to be aggressive and make sure people will have access to me, to our staff, and make sure that you all hold us accountable and that we be transparent in what we do. To me, that's important. You can't run a city government in secrecy, and my administration will not be like that. I don't cut deals. I won't cut deals. What I know, my colleagues in the commission gonna know, and we're gonna share that information with the community. When businesses want to do business in this community, you're gonna let the community know. When developers want to come in and build housing and stuff like that, we need to let the community know. And one thing, and I took some criticism for this, but I truly believe, especially when it comes to housing, I think we got too many student housing. I mentioned doing a moratorium. And let's just take a look. I'm not trying to stop progress, but what I am trying to say, how many beds do we have in this community? And who are those beds for? Are they for the people that live here, or are they for their student population? And the community need to know that. And developers do not sit down and talk with the folks at UGA. They keep building. That's why I was so against that 1,400 unit that's coming at the Foundry. I think it's going to impact Tom Lay. It's going to impact the Lending Center there. And we got to make sure that when those things happen, that those young people, those families, they're going to get pushed out. How are you going to put a 450-car garage in front of a community center and expect for it to be used by the people in the community? I just was not going to, I couldn't support that. Although it passed, we got to make sure that those young people continue to have access to Tom Lay and to the Lending Center and the Lending House there. So those things are important. But stuff like that, we got to be vigilant, and we got to let our community know when these things come down the pipe. So to me, that's important.
And that's good. That's good. And I agree with you on the student housing part. If these contractors just up and just throwing up housing without conferring with the community or the commissioners or whoever they're supposed to confer with, to see what is the need.
Right.
I think that's the most important thing. See if it's a need. Why would I put a gas station down the street where we got 3 down there?
Right.
Like, see what the need is.
Yeah. And that hasn't been done. And I think people think, well, if you do that, it's going to stop the growth on housing. No, it won't. Because when you do moratorium, it has an expiration date. One thing I'm saying, give us 90 days or 180 days. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what we're doing. And then we come back to the table and say, okay, this is where we need housing at, and this is where we need to put it at. And again, I'm always cautious, though, when we talk about building housing, we need to make sure that we got the proper infrastructure in place. We got to make sure we got sewer, and we got to make sure we got water. We got to do smart growth. I constantly are reminding people, we're the smallest geographical land-wise in the state of Georgia out of 159 counties. And some of my opponents want to say, well, we're going to do more density. Well, where are you going to put that density at? Every time, the 4 years that I've been on the commission, Charles, every time we talk about adding more density, the community comes out and says, we don't want density in our community. We want our community to stay as it is. We don't want this. Now, and you can do different type of housing. But again, we got to be smart about where we're going to put that housing. I'm not going to force feed housing into the community if they don't want those houses there, if they don't want them there. I'm not going to do that.
Why? I look at everything is growing now. It's 2026.
Yeah.
Everything's growing. Every city is growing.
Right.
In the state of Georgia and out of the state of Georgia.
Right.
So people need to kind of be open to the growth part.
Right.
Right? But we need to grow in the areas that we need the growth in.
Right.
I mean, like you said, we got student housing beds that's not fully filled.
Right.
Why build another one?
Right.
Let's fill those up.
Right.
And then we can see the need that let's build more student housing there.
And the thing with the parking deal, okay, you're going to deal 1,400 beds. But then ain't no parking there. So where do you think them kids going to park at? They're going to be parking in these community in the streets. That's the problem for me. So we can't let housing like that come up and then the parking going to spill out into the neighborhood. It's not a good look.
Well, I think one of the good things that you brought forth, and I heard you say this a couple of times on some of your forums, is that you making recommendations to the University of Georgia. Freshmen don't need cars.
Right. So yeah, we've had those conversations, and I'm gonna keep having those conversations. I think if we can eliminate 1,500, 2,000 cars a year, that'll cut down on traffic. We can use our transit system because every freshman that get accepted at UGA, the requirement is you have to stay on campus. So that's now. Oh yeah, that first year they have to stay on campus. Now if they were born and raised in Athens, they can live at home. A lot of times students that live here and been accepted, they tend to stay on campus too. Okay. What I'm saying is though, let's try to think outside the box a little bit. You got everything you need there. You got your food. You can get around anywhere in this community. You got buses. UGA got buses. The city got buses. Let's ask them, don't bring cars your first year. And let's just say, maybe we'll do a pilot. But I'm having those conversations with UGA about those things, and I'll continue to have those conversations.
Let me ask you, how much impact, because I don't think a lot of people kind of really understand it, how much impact do the University of Georgia has on the city of Athens?
So if you look at from a financial perspective, and I want people to preface this, $680 million is spent in this community.
A year?
Yeah,
that's a year.
Yeah. 680 million. Now, take that all in now with football games, with tourists, with concerts. So you take all that into effect, hotels and stuff like that. Now, also, what people don't realize, UGA pays stormwater fees. People say, well, UGA don't pay. They pay for this in the thousands of stormwater fees that they pay. When we was doing public transit, they was kicking in $1 million a year. Now, let me say this. There are some departments on that campus that will work with us and do things to help our community. And it could be from a monetary perspective or from a academic perspective that can help us. I just met with a young lady 2 weeks ago, black female. Mm-hmm. She's majoring in landscape architect, but she also does urban planning. She's working on a plan right now to say how urban communities, from a housing perspective and with green space. I told her, I said, when you get through with your project, I want to take a look at that. So we got brain power over there. Here's a black female who's working on it because she grew up in the urban area. Mm-hmm. And she said, that's one of my projects. But she's doing stuff now, going out community, looking where housing may fit along with green space. So if we can get those type of expertise and get those type of things in our community and meet with our community and say, hey, these are some places we can put housing. You can still have green space, have spaces where children can play and go outside. I think it's a win-win. So we got to take advantage of those. And it's good to have a town and gown relationship. You got to have that. UGA is the engine that drives everything, but at the same time, this community is our home. And they need to work with us, and I know they will. I mean, with me being elected, from day one, we'll start having those conversations. How do we work together to make things better for our community? One thing when I talk with students over there and have these conversations, I always tell them, you all need to get involved. If you're going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years, get involved with the community, find out where people live, Get to know the community that you're going to live in the next 4 years. To me, that's so critical. When I went out to college, I got to know the community I live in. I want to know where people live in. So those things are important.
In their defense, though, I will tell you that, and I know this for a fact, a lot of those students now that's coming in the ad probably never been to Athens before in their life. I don't ask them that part, but they trying to be involved in the community. I get calls all the time from young students that's trying to be involved more with the Athens community. So in their defense, I got to say they have been trying to connect with the Athens community. So you do have a strong relation. You went to the University of Georgia.
No, I did not.
You didn't go to?
I moved here for grad school, but then I got hired, and then
You worked there numerous years.
Yeah, 30 years. I stopped graduate school after they hired me, but then I went back to Piedmont College and got my MBA.
Okay.
I started there, didn't finish, but I spent 30 plus years on that campus. Had the opportunity not only to meet with students, but people from all over the world. I had a great experience there. It was good for my career. I was able to work with a number of people that live and were born here and really helped me along with my career. I mean, some of the folks that I worked with, they were my eyes, they were my ears, they were my sounding board, and they were everyday people. And I love it. That's why I was so, when I said that the people, the supervisors, and the number of women that we had in leadership, we did that. I made the point that we were going to put people that look like me, women, in leadership roles to help lead our department, and they helped me tremendously. One thing I learned early on, Charles, and it never bothered me, I always looked at hiring people that were smarter than me, and that helped. I always figured if they knew things that I didn't know, that would just only benefited our department. So my ego did not get in the way of me not hiring the right type of people to help us run our department.
And that's a real important piece as to running from mayor.
Yeah. So you don't know everything.
Yeah, you don't know everything, but you're willing to accept who knows more,
Right,
so you can learn.
Right.
I mean, that's important. I would never jump in a position thinking I have all the answers to everything.
And you can't.
I mean, even when I do some of my podcast, Mr. Fisher, I even tell people, if I'm wrong, just tell me I'm wrong. I mean, because I don't know everything.
And, and with the 5 people that's running, none of us are perfect. The thing I appreciate, we have had about 15 forums, so I appreciate the dialogue that we have had, not among ourselves, but with the people in this community. I think that's important. I do want to mention this, our campaign is going very well, and we're meeting people all over Athens. We're knocking on doors, meeting people where they are. Stuff goes out. So unfortunately, a flyer went out, not sure where it came from, went out and just had myself and one of my opponents on the flyer. Well, all 5 candidates should have been on that flyer. So that was not fair for that to happen. Don't know who put it out, but it didn't come from our campaign. I don't put out campaign. And I have told you this, I have said this, I have never mentioned any of my opponents by name in any podcast that I've done. I just talk about what I'm going to do. I'm respectful of my for the people that's running. And again, and we have had dialogue just outside the forum and just talking. So, we're not enemies. What we're trying to do is, who is the best person
Trying to win a race.
to run a race? Yeah, that's all we're trying to do. Who's the best person who can run this race and who can win this race, and who the people of Athens want to be their next mayor? That's so critical. And the whole thing I promote myself on is my qualifications. What I've done, sit behind that rail for 4 years, sort of understand how government works, and it's complex. Don't let nobody fool you. It took me, and I'm not ashamed to say it took me almost 8 months to a year to figure stuff out. And I ran large department, but when you look at our government, you got all these moving pieces. You have things happen that you didn't know happen. You got to figure these things out. So our next mayor should be able to hit the ground running, understand what everything is, understand how to connect the dots. Because like I told you, my first 100 days, we're going to be in these streets. We're going to be talking to the community, asking them, we coming up with a strategic plan. Tell us what you want us to do as a government to help move our community forward. So we're going to be out in every district, along with those elected, other 10 officials. They're going to be with me, along with our staff. We're going to be listening. you all gonna tell us what do you want to see Athens over the next 4, 8 to 10 years?
So now I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. So the immediate part of action that if you was elected tomorrow, your first 100 days, what do you feel like is the immediate needs right now? Not talking about long term,
Right.
the immediate needs right now, what you see or what you hear about what's going on in our communities, all over Athens. Is it dealing with businesses or workforce or whatever it is? Your first 100 days, you're gonna be tuned into what actions?
My first of all, building trust. That's the first thing. We got to build trust. And I said this publicly. Our community, no matter what side of the coin you on, the community don't trust us. So one of my first plan is to bring all those people you just mentioned together. And they may be separate, but we got to build trust. We got to build accountability, and we got to be transparent. So I want to build trust. When I tell people we're going to do what I say we're going to do, I want us to do it. Not only I got to hold myself accountable, I got to hold 10 other commissioners accountable and our staff. We got to change the culture a little bit. That's one thing I do know. We got to change the culture of how we do business with our community.
Right.
We should, this ain't brain surgery, but we need to simplify things. We don't have to make things so complicated.
Right.
You don't have to do those things, but I want to build trust. That's number one. I want to build accountability, and I want to build transparency. So as I talk to people in the community, and when I knock on these doors, that's what people say, well, tell me how you're going to be different. First, I said, well, first of all, I want you to believe in what we do and believe that we can deliver what we're going to say. Talk is cheap, but for me, we got to have action. And you're right. We got to have, but trust is what number one, y'all. That we can't build the trust among our community, that's a problem. And that's on us. And I'm going to challenge my 10 colleagues. You all got to come along with me to make sure we build that trust. We build that accountability, and that we're transparent in how we conduct our business. And our staff going to be the same way. See, our staff, they work hard. And let me say this, we really got a good staff. We really do. I would never.
Now, explain to the people when you say staff, who consists of staff?
Well, our county manager.
Okay, county manager.
Our county manager, our county attorney, our auditor, our clerk of committee, and then all the people that work for Athens County government. ACC Gov. We got to make sure, and what we need to do, I don't think we have done a very good job, we got to make sure everybody is going the same direction. I think in the past, staff going one way, the commission's going one way. All of us got to be marching to the same beat.
I don't think people really understand that a lot of the things that transpires throughout our city, sometimes y'all don't know until after it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, that because the communication between the staff and the commission is very limited. I mean, we see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I done heard plenty of commissioners, not yourself, but I done heard plenty of commissioners say, hey, when did that happen? Or can we get some feedback? When did it transpire? So I think as far as on the government level, when you get in there, you should look at the fact that it need to be better communication between your ACC Gov staff and the mayor and commission. You know exactly.
And I think our county manager have to be the one who will be driving that. And let me explain how a charter works. I really want people to understand this. We have a charter that's 35 years old. The way our government is operated based on the charter, we have what we call a weak form of mayor and commission. And what that means is we don't run the day-to-day operation. That's why we hire a county manager. That's why he hires the staff. So what we got to do a better job is make sure that the county manager, the mayor and commission, all of us on the same way, all doing the same thing. All of we lockstep doing the same thing. So I'm going to make sure that as information flows to us, all of us got the same information, it's the right information.
Have you had a chance to read the charter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And let me tell you what was really interesting. When I moved here in 1988, they were just started talking about the charter. And that was my first community involvement. People don't think I've been involved. I've been involved in this community since day one. But I tell you, like students, when I came out as a student, graduate student, I got involved. I want to know, what's a unified government? I started getting involved. I started going to those meetings and listening. People don't understand who hadn't been here for a number of years. I've been here 38 years. The charter had failed 4 times in votes. 4 times. It failed. The 5th time it passed, there were promises made. And I said this publicly, so what I'm saying now is not new. There was going to be sewer and water countywide, and there was going to be economic development.
That's in the charter.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, I already found it. Yeah. So, matter of fact, within 4 years of the charter, sewer and water was going to be citywide. Ain't happened. We're going to have economic development. Hadn't happened. So we're playing catch up, Charles.
What fell through the crack? That was what,
1991, 92? No, 1991, 92.
So, and this is 2026.
That's right, 35 years later. So, and I try to get people to understand something, we get blamed for stuff that happened, and that's okay. And I own some of that.
I mean, you wasn't there back then.
I know it, but what we're trying to do, when we're trying to make improvement, because I'm an elected official. I own some of that, but at the same time, these things should have started happening years and years ago.
Years ago. Yeah.
So now we are playing catch up. We have a crumbling infrastructure. We need an infrastructure that needs to be improved. Now, let me say this about our water system. I said this at one of the forums. We have one of the best water management in the country. What those men and women do at our water plants, they do a fantastic. So our drinking water is top notch. What we need to do is get drinking water into areas that may not have, they may be on wells.
I was just finna say, we got some areas in Athens that ain't seeing good, but I think Pinewood is
one of them. So we got to get them connected to our water system. And we're working on that right now, how we can make that work. What people need to realize with Pinewood, that is owned by a private company. So the county don't own that. What we need to do is work with them and ask them, okay, we can get you the connection, but we got to work with them to see how we can make that work. So yeah, so those are some of the things that we're looking at. But I think people need to really understand where we started from and where we at now and where we need to go. And I'm the candidate. I know where we need to go. But that's why I say, that's why I want to be so aggressive. My first year. We got to talk about, one thing I'm pushing is an airline. We hadn't had an air service in this community since 2014.
So as the city of Athens continues to grow, and we growing at a rapid rate, is the airline needed for Athens?
Ain't no question. Think about it. We have 1,600 people a day go to Atlanta or either Greenville to catch a flight. A day.
So with this new airline, if you could make it happen, with the new airline thing, so you said people wouldn't have to drive to Atlanta.
Go right there to our airport. Let me say this to the community. If you've never been out to the airport, go out there. Nice facility, nice setup. So yeah, we can do, my idea would be we can do 2 flights in the morning, 2 in the afternoon.
So what's been stopping that process?
Well, I think when we first got it, when we launched it, they said we did not have enough support. That was back in
from the community or
from the
local
we didn't have enough ridership. Well, airlines have to look at how we're going to make money, how we're going to profit if we come to Athens. We got 135,000 people in this community. Think about the surrounding counties around us. Greene County, Madison County, Commerce, Jackson.
Monroe,
those folks can drive here and catch a flight. And the time is right now. We got, we got University of Georgia. Think about all the people that fly out there. We got Meiser Corporation. They're from California. They get ready to build 1,700 jobs to the community. Think about them executives flying from California to fly right here in Athens. Those are the type of things that we have to look outside the box and say, those are transportation pieces. We talk about local transit, but that's a transportation piece too that we need. Any ass jobs, and the airport is self-sufficient. We make our money right now on fuel, on all the fuel and the gas. But think about TSA operators, baggage have. Those are local jobs that we have in our community.
I was just finna say that. That'll open up jobs. And speaking of job, I know a lot of people in the community, and I get a lot of calls. My organization get a lot of calls about this, where homeless individuals be looking for jobs. What our job growth look like?
Job growth is good. Now, I say it's good, but so much is going on in the nation, around the world. Some of those things may be impacted. one thing I know right now, and I said this, we got a company that's coming in, the Miser Corporation, is a biotech company. Starting salary is going to be $65,000. I want to make sure, first of all, that we
is that for regular? If I go down in the woods somewhere and ask somebody to want a job, I could take a homeless person with no experience out there to get a job.
No, you can't.
So
they got
that work?
to get trained. I mean, that's what it becomes a biotech company. That's why it's so critical that we work not only with Athens Tech, usually in our school system, to get people prepared for those type of jobs. Now, are they going to be jobs, and I have not talked to them about that, are they going to be jobs where people may have to clean up or do some other type of jobs? Or even just
how big is this company? Is it a big?
Yeah, they're going to employ 1,700 people here. 1,700 here in Clark County.
Started salary $65,000.
Yeah, and those, and let me preface that. Those are probably some of the skill type positions. I will ask, and I know that the HR person have already moved here. I would ask her, what's the starting salary for what I call it, what's a regular job? And I'll ask her that. But the thing you got to look at, though, is I want to make sure that our young people go out and get those certificates, go out and get trained, because I want to see people that born and raised and live here go out there and get those jobs. But we got to get them prepared, Charles. We got to prepare them. And people don't understand that. People get mad and say, well, they don't hire our local people. Well, let's get them trained. And then we'll push to make sure once we get them trained, they get those jobs. As mayor, although it's a private company, I'm going to be very mindful of who gets hired out there and what those folks look like. But I want to make sure that we're prepared, because we got a pathway right now in our school system. We got a biotech pathway where a young person can get prepared to go and get those type of. We got a welding pathway. We got all kind of pathways.
When would this
fully built out?
Yeah.
So probably late 2027, 2028. They got a beautiful piece of property. All the commissioners have gone out there. They got a lake out there where you can.
Where is it located?
Out there off of Spring Valley Road out there. You can keep going straight. You can see it. Okay. They got signs out there. But it's going to be a beautiful campus. They got a lake out there where you can fish and stuff. So
I think that's been one of the problems I know with some of the Athenians here in Athens. A lot of the people that be looking for work, if you notice, they make decent money. We know what the minimum wages is, and nobody works for that minimum wage. A lot of the Athenians that live here in Athens, they have to go out to plant, the plants like in Jefferson and all the other little Monroe and Hitachi. They have to go to these plants, Jackson County, all these places, just to be able to make enough money to provide for their family.
Right.
So by you saying that this company is coming here, and 1,700 people, that's a lot of things.
Yeah. And I want to see Athenians get those jobs. Yeah. I truly do. But again, I want to be realistic though, and I want to be truthful about this. We got to make sure that they prepare and that they're ready. And I'm telling you what, when I talk to people that work in the industry, they can get people hired and get them trained. What we got to work on is those soft skills, showing up for work on time. If you're going to be sick, calling in. And just coming in and doing the job. Because they have hired people before, but 3 or 4 months later, they don't show up, they stop showing up. So we got to prepare our young people and the community at large that these are the type of things that you can do to keep a job. We can get you hired, we got to get you to stay there.
And I wish the community, you got to understand that, Mr. Fisher. I know we look at a lot of people quit. They work 2-3 months and they'll quit. They'll work 2-3 months, go to another job, whatever. Right now, the way the world is going, you got to do what's best to feed your family. Mm-hmm. So if you see an individual done work, and I see this with some of the people in the community that I personally know, they'll work a job for about 5 months, bro, and they'll leave and go to another job that make $1 more or $2 more. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like back in our era when we was growing up, it was the thing to sit there and work for the job as long as possible. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, hey, I've been at my job for 20 years, or I've been at my job for 30 years. Right. That was the thing. But now, in the age that we living in, if I'm working for you right now and you paying me $20 an hour, and I just got a call last night, somebody want to pay me $23 an hour, pretty much doing the same work.
You gonna go there?
I got to go with the bread.
I understand.
Because right now, it ain't no handouts nowhere. Ain't nobody giving you nothing.
Right.
So I got to do, and I don't have kids, but just say if I had kids, I got to do what I need to do to feed my family.
Right.
You know, legally. I ain't talking about illegally, legally. So,
and sometimes there's no loyalty, and I get that there's no loyalty among the plants or the workforce, and there's no loyalty among the people. You're right, everybody's chasing that dollar. Yeah. But I always say this though, and people don't look at this sometimes. When you go on a job, also take a look at the benefits. Do I have health care? Do I have a retirement? Do I have all these things? These are some of the things that we need to be teaching our young people. When you go on a job, not only are you looking at what you're going to be, and I get it. You want to be able to, first of all, put food on the table, pay your rent. That's number one. But also look at that benefit package. Do I have health care if I get sick or my children get sick? Do I have a retirement? Once, if I'm working at X number, do I have a retirement? Those are the type of things I do. Do I have dental care? All those things are important because if you get sick, you want to make sure that the company that you work for, your medical is going to kick in. So I always say, look at the whole package. I know most people look at that, and believe me, I understand. Most people look at how much I'm going to be making and how much I'm going to be taking home. I get that. But also look at the other packages that they have. Do they have stuff for me to go back to school? Will they pay for it? Do they have child care? Subsidies for me. Look at all those things when you get ready to go look for a company or work for a company. Those things are important.
I want to move toward this. I got it on my mind. You're a strong believer of God.
Yes.
A strong believer.
Yeah.
Tell the people who your church is, how long you've been following the mission of God. God put stuff on our heart, man, for us to. I'm quite sure God the one led you to that path to run for mayor. I remember we talked one time before and you were saying that how much you love the mission that God put in front of you. You've been thinking about politics. You've been doing politics for a long time. And to know that you was out there cutting grass one time, making a couple dollars an hour.
And I think people need to understand, folks look at me and I could, thought I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Wasn't the case.
So tell who is Dexter Fisher? Okay. I want you to take away the politics.
Okay.
Take away you running for mayor. Take a look the University of Georgia. We want to know, I want to know as a person, who is Dexter Fisher? The name that not Commissioner Fisher. No, who is Dexter Fisher?
Dexter Fisher was a man who was born in Greenwood, South Carolina. Grew up without a father. It was myself and my brother.
Single parent home?
Single parent home. My mom worked 2 jobs to provide for me and my brother. I grew up in the civil rights movement in the 60s. One thing that spurred me, though, was watching my mom knocking on people's doors, register them to vote.
Right.
And advocating for us when we started integrating our schools. See, people don't understand. I don't know what other commissions, other people that run for mayor. I live the movement. I understand what it was like growing up as a little black boy in the state of South Carolina and some of the barriers that were put before me. But I had a strong mom and I had a strong community, a village that helped shape me to make me the man I am today. My football coach, Little League football coaches, my high school football coach, those people made me who I am today. I wish my mom was still living.
I know, boy. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. You know how I feel. I talk about my mama all the time, man, cause it's hard not having your mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I don't mean to get emotional. But I just watched. She was a 5'2" lady, and I just watched how much she really fought for me and my brother. How she fought for the community that we live in, and to make sure that people understood the power of the vote. And so that's what spurred me early on with me being where I am. And, and again, if I hadn't had a football scholarship, probably wouldn't have went to college. But that helped me, that motivated me. And then, I'm a family man now. I'm married, got 3 kids, I got 5 grandkids, and they mean a lot to me. My church family is so important. Ebenezer Baptist Church, where it's so important. I've been a Christian. I got baptized when I was 10 years old. But God has always been a part of my life. My faith is so important to me. And I told you this the last time we talked. I knew when I caught COVID, and I mentioned this the other night when we was in Winterville, I spent 6 weeks in that hospital. But I didn't tell people on that, who was in that forum, this community rallied around me, though. You don't know how many cards, text messages, as I got better, that people would cheer me on to get better. I was on I don't think I told you that, I was on oxygen. When I got to the hospital, I had to have oxygen for another 2 or 3 months just to get back. But I started building back my body. But I knew laying in that bed, and I asked God, I said, I don't know what your plans are for me. I said, but if you pull me through this, I'm gonna make sure that I pull back into this community, what this community gave me. I just can't discount it. This is my home. I wasn't born and raised here, but this community has embraced me, have taken me, and when I've seen that support that I got when I was in the hospital, I thought I was gonna die. They had told my wife that I may not make it. That means a lot, and a lot of people rally around me. You'll be surprised the people that reached out to me and say, hey, we're praying for you. We want you to know. But my church family really poured in me. They made sure we had food at the house. My wife's sorority made sure that we had food, that we was taken care of, that my wife, and that put a big burden on a spouse when she has to be a caretaker. Somebody who's been through that, and that's one of the things that COVID though has left me with. I'm a long hauler, and you hear my voice sometimes. I get polyps on my vocal cords, and they can't figure out why they keep coming back. But I have to go in and have surgery, laser surgery, in order to remove those polyps so I can talk.
You have to keep having the surgery?
I have to keep having. There's no cure for what I got. Matter of fact, I just went to see my doctor Tuesday. We try to figure out when I'm going to have to go back in and get the surgery. I've just been talking so much. Normally when I have the surgery, it's about 1.5 years I'm good. But because I've been talking and been on this campaign trail, I had to go back in. So we're trying to figure out when I'm going to go in, because I have to do 3 to 4 days of wash rest.
Maybe after you win the race, then you can go in.
Go in. But it's important. But I'm not, people see me and have a totally different, because they see me in the suit, see me there, but I came from humble beginnings, and but I'm proud of the fact that, and again, I always talk about people help me. I mean, I didn't do this by myself now. People helped me along. I had some good mentors. I listened to folks, and I learned how to navigate, though, how to work with people no matter what your political affiliation. I learned early on how to navigate that. And that's what I'm good at. I can work with anybody. I can talk to them. That's why I feel like as the next mayor, I can bring folks together, because I've learned how to navigate that world.
I'm gonna tell you, I get kind of frustrated sometimes when I hear he's a Democrat or she's a Republican or he's a Republican, she's a Democrat. I don't think that they really understand. It don't matter what you affiliated with. What matters is doing the work and making the community better.
There you go.
And me, myself, I got Republican friends and Democrat friends. But when I sit and talk to you guys, I don't look at your I don't even ask your affiliation, because it don't matter.
Right.
What matters is that we got to help fix the community.
We do.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about you. When you said that you're going to be a mayor for everybody, you ain't just saying for the University of Georgia or the blacks or whoever. You saying for everybody. And that is so important, because if you jumping out the gate, only want to do for the crazy crowd or the hype crowd or the Democrats, Republicans, you're going to lose.
You're going to lose.
You still going to have this community divided.
And that's what I want to do. I want to, and don't get me wrong, I ain't naive, but I want people to understand we got to come together and work for the betterment of this community. And that's what, that's why I think it's so important, my first 100 days, that we push that agenda. That's why I talk about trust. I talk about bringing folks together. I want people I don't care, everyday people, I don't care what your income, your race, your religion. I want you to say, Mayor Fisher, we need to have this done, or you need to do better on that. This is what we want. And so you're right. You got to be the mayor for everybody. And I know we got communities, people in this community that has been left out, well, I want to bring them to the table too. And it's important that we bring those folks to and all of us have talked about that on the campaign trail. It's so critical that we do that. But I know that I'm the man who can bring us together. I mean, I've done it. I understand what it takes to get there. Because you can't do anything in a vacuum. You got to have support from all areas of the community. One thing, and people criticize my fundraising, and let me say this. We have not taken out one dime from corporation or from a PAC. Every dime that we raise have came from individuals. No corporation.
I think a lot of people were asking, from what I've been seeing and hearing, a lot of people was asking, like, how did he raise so much money? Like, wow, this is like amazing. Like, some people were saying it was amazing. Some people were saying, oh, he dealing with the other side of it. And I want people to understand, it's no other side when you're running for mayor. There's no other side.
Well, and I say this, I think my 38 years of being in this community, and when I talked about early knowing folks, I know folks all over. I just do. You know, I build a relationship with people that may be different from me. And I think people look at me and say, well, you know what? He's a good guy. He's going to do about right. And, you know, I'm not going to, even in my job, I never, like, tried to cut deals or do stuff. You know, ethics is important to me. Transparency is important. You don't get nowhere if you're trying to cut deals behind the scenes. I just never.
You're going to catch up.
They catch up with. Yeah. And again, I got that from my mom. You look a man or a woman in the face, you tell them what you're going to do, and you do it.
There you go.
And I think that's what you got to do. So I'm not going to be that type of mayor where, okay, we did this deal 6 months ago, now I'm going to bring it to, nah, we ain't going to work. That's why I say you got to change the culture. And the culture starts with the guy at top, the mayor. I'm going to expect those 10 other commissioners to follow my lead and to work with me, not against me. And I'm going to work with them because I think it's so critical that all 10 of those individuals, and all of them, because they represent different districts, and they want what's best for their district. But at the end of the day, how do we make our community better? And that's what you all need to be looking at. Have we, the 10 of us, plus the mayor, have we made a difference in our community at the end of the day? And what I want to say is, after 4 years, if I don't see that we have moved, I won't run for re-election. If I see where we have not done some things I said we was going to do, or that I have not been accountable, have not been transparent, I won't run again. I promise you that. If I don't move the needle, I'll be a one-term mayor. You heard this first right here. I ain't said that to nobody. So for me, that's why I'm serious about this. That's why I'm serious about making things different, making things better. So that's my pledge. If we have not moved the needle, haven't done something that we said we were going to do, I won't run for re-election.
Let me ask you this last question. I ain't gonna hold you up too long. Last question. How much do you love Athens? How much do you?
Oh, man.
How much? I just want people to hear how much, because I can hear the passion in your voice. I see the passion in your word. I see the passion in your actions. How much you love. But a lot of people that follow me might be out of towners or whatever, or UGAs to whoever, and they just hear your name. They see posts people make. They see this, they see that. But they just don't know how strong is your, how much do you love the city of Athens?
Man, I love the city. Cause I told you, how can a guy that was spent 6 weeks in the hospital and all these people are reaching out to me and saying, you know, we praying for you to get well. I had so many opportunities to leave for better jobs, for more, paying more. Had an opportunity to do that. I decided I was going to set my roots here in this community for 38 years. I'm going to be here to the day I die. This is my home. All my kids were educated, all 3 of them. 2 went to Clark Central, 1 went to Senior Shows. So my wife taught in the Clark County School District, and I need to give her a shout out. I love her. I mean, she's been she's been my rock. I mean, I would not do this, and I'm going to preface this. If she was not supporting this campaign, I would have ran for mayor. I had to get her permission to make sure that we was going to be a partner in this. Now, I don't bring my family in a whole lot, but I do want to say she's been a really big supporter of mine. I love her, and I'm a fortunate man. Most people don't know this. My wife, I was married to her 18 years. She died back in 2008. Became a single father. People don't know that I was a single father also. But then, and I meet Audrey. How blessed am I to be married, twice to women, outstanding women who have supported me. So, I don't take that for granted. And Audrey, she's my rock. She's the one that I bounce ideas on, and she's my biggest critic too. So, and I appreciate.
And that's one of my friends. Shout out to Miss Fisher, man. Shout out to Miss Fisher.
Yeah. But it's important to me that my family supports what we're doing, and but it's been good. But I love this community. Have given back so much to me, and I want to be able to give back. And let me say this: if I'm not the next mayor, and I said this, I'm going to continue to work in the community. That's not going to go away. Some people, they run for public office, you don't see them no more. That's not going to be me. Regardless of what's happened, I'm going to still be able, I'm going to continue to mentor young people. I'm going to continue to volunteer my time and services. I'm going to do that.
I think and I was just talking to one of my board members about this on the way over here. A lot of people jump out of their chair when they've been sitting there for so long, right? Mm. And said, I'm finna run for this. Or I'm finna try to get this job. You can't just jump out of your chair and want a spot.
Yeah.
It don't work like that. In today's time, the way people view the community, they want to see that work. And you got years. Yeah. You got years of being in this work.
Yeah. And people don't realize that some of the work you don't see. Some of the work you don't see where I have mentored young black males. People don't see that. Some of the work, people don't see that we give scholarships. People don't even know I got a foundation where I give scholarships to young black folks. Because I don't talk about it. Because to me, what I see when I do that, when I get a scholarship, when those young people come back and they got their degrees, that's important. So I don't need to brag about this. So God knows what I do. And that's the only person I'm worried about. I have to answer for. I don't worry about what people say about me. What they say. That's why I said, when bad things are said about me on Facebook or other stuff, I told somebody, I say, hey, I done look death in the face. Anything folks say about me, it don't bother me.
And you know what? I commend you for that. I commend you for that because nowhere on your campaign to date have I ever seen you attack a candidate. You ain't put no negative ads out. You ain't made no negative. And I commit because that's what leadership look like. Yeah. If somebody running against you and they always want to bring up the fact, well, Dexter Fisher did, you ain't the best candidate because you already attacking people. You know what I'm saying? You just not the best candidate for that. But all the way throughout your campaign, man, even if you hear something bad, I don't know if you hear, but if you hear something bad or whatever, I never see you go back and try to straighten that up, try to attack them. You don't do that. You keep moving forward with the work and what you gonna do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we do the work.
So I thank you for that, man.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm not gonna attack any of my opponents, and I said I wouldn't. And folks have, not so much the opponent, maybe some of their surrogates have attacked me, but that's okay. We keep it moving. At the end of the day, the Athens County community, the people, the residents live, they're gonna make decisions who they want to be the next mayor. And I know that I'm the man for the job. I know my work. I sit behind that word. I know what needs to happen, what needs to get done for us to move this community forward.
Thank you so much. So you want to lead the viewers, because this is going to be watched a lot of times. I already know it. Anything you want to tell the viewers, anybody?
Well, I think for me and for the residents and the citizens of Athens that I'm a man of integrity. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be transparent, and I want you all to hold me accountable. I think for far too long, we have, as a government, have not let people have a seat at the table. I want all our residents to feel like they will have a seat at my table and have a voice, because I think it's important. And I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to be out in these streets. One thing I said to some young people is, because I asked them a question, do y'all know who the mayor is? Some of them didn't know who the mayor is. I said, well, y'all going to know that Dexter Fisher is the mayor. Because I'm going to be out here in these streets, meeting people where they are, because I think it's important. Everybody can't come down to City Hall. We're going to take City Hall to the community. And to me, that's important. And we're going to do that from day one. That's why I said the people that's running for commissioners, put your running shoes on and your walking shoes, because we're going to be out in these streets. And and those commissioners, if they don't show up, I'm gonna call them out. Why you didn't show up? We having a town hall in your community. You're not there. You need to hear what the people that elected you. And let me say this: elected officials forget sometimes who put them in these spots.
Yeah.
We need to understand that the people that vote for you put you in these spots. You know, we're running. You know, we're doing interviews. We're doing interviews right now, and people are the ones who they're the boss. They're the one who put us in these spots. And I'm never gonna forget that. I'm always gonna stay humble. Sometimes people get in a position they lose their way.
God knows you got some and that done lost their way. I ain't gonna lie to you.
They lose their way, but with my faith, with my church family, with people praying for me, and I'm optimistic. I see a really good future for this community. But we gotta bring everybody together to make that future happen. We gotta have people at the table to help us understand. We met with a group yesterday with this able community, and they really enlightened me on the stuff that I take for granted. So again, a community like that, we need to be able to serve them. Our veterans, we need to be able to serve them. Our homeless population, we need to be able to serve them.
Oh, yeah.
People that need housing, but we gotta do it. And again, Rome wasn't built in a year, but we gotta be smart about how we do these things and making sure that we can provide these things for them. And there may be some outside the box stuff that we may have to do, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure if we can get people in housing, we want to get them in housing. We want to be able to do that. We want to get people off the streets, we should be able to do that.
Why I will say this, I don't like a person. I mean, I don't like a person because they may be my friend or associate or none of that when it comes to this type of work, right? When I look at all the policies, all the way from the charter all the way down, when I look at the policy, when I listen to the mayor commission meetings, when I look at the work in the community, and when I hear individuals in the community say, oh, this person helped me, or I talked to this person, they gave me this direction. That's what I look for in being the person for being the next mayor in Athens, right? And I got to say, I endorse you as being our next mayor because you ready to do the work. You've been doing the work. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not because me and you cool and we finna go outside and talk about the university. No. I endorse you because this work, what you're doing, is what's needed to continue in Athens. And with you being in that mayor seat, I know that you're going to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just want to let you know, and I want to let everybody know that follow me, that listen to me, that ask me for suggestions. I endorse Commissioner Dexter Fisher, the man sitting right here, to be our next mayor because it ain't going to take him 4 years to figure out what needs to be done. I mean, you just heard it for yourself. It's not going to take him 4 years to figure out what our city needs. That man talking about bringing City Hall to the people. You know what I'm saying? Now, by me endorsing him, do that make the other candidate bad? No. I just don't think they are ready to lead our city. I don't think they're ready to lead our city. So I endorse you, man.
Thank you.
I think you the man that can get the job done. And you just making a commitment saying, hey, if I don't get it done, I ain't running no more.
Yeah.
I mean, that speaks volume right there.
If I can't do it in 4 years, I won't run again. Y'all take that to the bank. Take it to the bank. If we can't get stuff done in 4 years, because that would have given me 8 years, but I'll be at the head. If we can't get things, I won't run for re-election. So you take that to the bank.
So there you have it, guys. Mr. Commissioner Dexter Fisher, who's running for mayor. Early voting have started.
Yeah.
Early voting have started. If you haven't placed your votes yet, I recommend that you get to the poll because don't think that your one vote don't mean that.
Right. So
that one vote can mean a whole lot into changing our city. And right now, look, I ain't gonna talk. I'll talk about that on another podcast. We're gonna leave those back. But that one vote actually means a lot, man. So get down and vote. The polls are open now. They're gonna be open up to when?
May 15th.
Okay.
And with early voting that started, then we start opening up more polling spaces starting next week. So and Charles makes a good point. local politics is so critical. Everybody, no matter who you're going to vote for, go out and vote. That's your God-given right. That's what my mom fought for, to register people to vote. Too many people died that look like Charles and I for us to have the right to vote. They just don't go vote. Please go vote. And again, I hope you vote for me, but whatever candidate that you're for, go and vote. Let your voice be heard. That's so critical.
I tell people that reach out, I have a lot of people inboxing me all the time. Like, Charles, who do I vote for? Who do I go for? Who do I go for? And I tell them who I like, but I also tell them, think about this. If you was in a situation and needed support, before you mash one of those candidate buttons, decide on which one of those that you feel like will help you first.
Yeah.
That's how I would want you to view it.
Right.
I mean, I could tell you all day to vote for Commissioner Fisher because I'm voting for Commissioner Fisher. But still, you got to look at that panel. Do you think you can call Commissioner, if just say if your house will get to it,
right,
do you think you can call Commissioner or Mayor Fisher and say, hey, Mayor Fisher, I need some guidance with this? And if he don't answer your call, is he going to return your call?
Right.
Or he going to put his phone on do not disturb? I mean, those times, that plays a lot in just that one vote.
Yeah.
Getting that one vote.
You
feel what I'm saying? So, man, I thank you for all the work you're doing, man. Like I said, you got my 100% support. I think you will be the best candidate. I've been saying this from day one.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of the work you done did. I know a lot of the communication you have with the University of Georgia, which plays a critical part in how our city is looked at. You know what I'm saying? You got to think the University of Georgia is the biggest entity in our state.
Right. Yeah. And let me say this. You know, people say, well, you know, you're going to be tied in there. No, I'm not. When I go and meet with those administrators, I'm going as the mayor of Athens. Not because I worked at UGA. People need to understand that. Yeah, do I have an inside? And do I have a seat at that table right? Yes, I do. But at the same time, my advocacy is for the people of Athens, and I want people to really understand that. I'm not going and say, and I ain't going and be buddy. We're going and say, hey, these are some things that are some of our concern. What can we do together to pull everybody together to make this thing work? And not only with UGA, Athens Tech got to play a critical. Our school system, I spent 3 years in that school system. Our school system got to be critical. So all those entities have to be a part of how we're going to be successful in our community. We got to have that. We can't be, I said this earlier, everybody can't be in their own silo. We got to come together, work together for the betterment. Because if we got a thriving community, it benefits everybody. To me, that just makes sense. It benefits everybody.
I know anytime the community have a problem, whether it's, no matter what it is, and they call me and they reach out to my organization and ask for help or whatever, it always two commissioners that come to mind that I need to call to try to get this problem straight. You and Commissioner Thornton. You and Miss Ovita Thornton are the first two that I call. Y'all are legends. Y'all been in the game, got skin in the game for years. And you know what? I have never got a call from the community and called you guys, and we ain't fixed the problem. We ain't fixed the problem. So shout out to Miss Thornton too, Commissioner Thornton. Y'all don't forget about Miss Thornton, man. I love that lady like a mama, man, and she been doing work. She been in the game
long time, a lot longer than me.
A long time, and she done flipped District 9. She done flipped it and made it better, and she's still doing the work. So shout out to Miss Thornton. But you two guys, I give my full support to. I think you will be a awesome mayor, and you're gonna be approachable for everybody.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I want people to be able to come up and talk to me and say, hey, I got an issue or something. And again, y'all, sometimes we do work that people don't even hear about. But we don't talk about it. I never have talked about or bragged about what I've done for people in this community. I just do the work because if somebody tells me they need help, okay, let's see what we can do to get you the help.
I'm gonna tell you something, and people don't even know this. I had a situation last year where a young lady from Athens Garden reached out to me. Her and her kid was hungry. They didn't have no food in the refrigerator. They didn't have no means of. They said they reached out to, I think, the neighborhood leaders and all these people, and nobody helped them. And out of all the people that I reached out to help this young lady get her refrigerator full where her and her kids can have some food, it was Steve Middlebrooks and Dexter Fisher made sure that this young single mom, she had 4 kids, got her refrigerator full and got food into her refrigerator. Shout out to Steve Middlebrook too for doing that. Y'all 2 guys gave me the money, made sure it happened, and that mom was good, man. So I think a lot of the time that we get help from the community, it be people like this that be helping. And you got to think, him and Steve Middlebrook did this, and they walked 2 different paths. But it's forces coming together to make a situation better. You feel what I'm saying? So the other day I had a situation with one of my closest friends. Needed some help with his rent. Commissioner Thornton and Michael McClendon helped me with that. I needed $1,000 to try to keep him in his, keep him, from getting evicted or whatever. I called Commissioner Thornton, I called Michael McClendon, and they both came through. I mean, so a lot of people don't know y'all do stuff outside of that not being in publicity. You know what I'm saying? So.
And people don't hear, we get those calls, not only from people in our district, but to your point, people from outside. So we get those calls, and we, if we can't find the resources there, hey, we pick up on, hey, we got a family and needs some help. What can we do to help them? And, I'm always willing to kick in. I don't want people. And something I've done something. I had a group call me. Somebody needs some help. I said, don't tell people that I did this. Take care of the situation, bam, and we good. Don't, just as long as that family's okay, I'm okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Appreciate you.
Hey guys, what's your website? Plug in your website.
DexterFisherForMayor.com. Look me up, or you can call. And my personal phone number is on there. Call me. We'll have a conversation. If you want me to drop by your house and talk to you, I do the same. But DexterFisherForMayor.com.
There you go. Hey, man. Thank you, guys, for watching. If you haven't voted already, when you get to the poll, you're going to probably see Dexter Fisher's name first. Because from what I'm hearing, he's the #1 candidate right now in Athens as far as winning this mayor race. So, guys, get down there and vote. Let your voices be heard. Let your vote be heard. Because your vote do matter. Your vote. So many people over the years have fought for you to be able to get to that poll and vote. So guys, get down there and vote. Vote, vote, vote. And like I said, the 2 right now that Commissioner Thornton and Dexter Fisher, I wouldn't even debate. I wouldn't even have a second thought with getting them in there, man. And look, thank you for my shirt too. Y'all will see me rocking it later on. And I already got the shoes on for it. I got the straight J's for it. Dexter Fisher for mayor, man. Dexter Fisher for mayor. Man, thank you again, man.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thank
man, get to the poll, guys.
Please go vote.
Please go vote, man. Love you guys, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Friday.
Thank you, Athens.
All right.